What's up, workforce? Brian here, and today we're talking about the game industry as it relates to Google Stadia, ChromeOS, and the Steam platform. And really right now, Google Stadia is a tale of two cities. It is the best of times, and it is the worst of the times. It is the best place to play multiplayer games, and it's the worst place to play multiplayer games. And if you've actually played Stadia and it's worked for you, you know what I'm talking about. And if you're like, this is a stupid idea, this is going to completely fail, like, we're also on the same page. It is so interesting to see how Google has completely messed up their launch. But it's still not without notice. So what this is all about is Xcloud is clearly offering a better way forward for gamers. And it's great that gamers at some point, as they start to evaluate if the cloud can work for their network and their internet connection, as a really good alternative, because guess what? If you don't have internet and you still have your Xbox or your PC, you've got the games, right? And I think that's overall the biggest concern. So I doubt Google is going to go out without a fight. And what's really interesting is that out of CES, looks like the website Android Police reports that they sat down with the director of the Chromebook, the ChromeOS operating system, which is Linux-based, and he says that they're working with Steam to bring Steam to the platform natively. And that got me thinking. That got me just going to ask you guys the question, because right now it's Stadia or nothing, and then you have Xcloud or Xbox or Windows PC. Like, you have a lot more options in that space. If Google teams up with Valve and is able to bring, Steam to ChromeOS, which is fairly weak. Like, we're not talking about like a gaming platform here, but just hear me out. ChromeOS is a Linux-based operating system. Stadia is a Linux-based operating system. Imagine a world in which that Stadia becomes not just a platform in which that they want to move to, but it becomes that transition in which that if they team up, if my Steam library is all of a sudden playable on Stadia and my saves are there, that's Final Fantasy XIV is there, there's so much that would end up being there that ends up becoming an additive service, something that allows me the freedom to play where I want to play and the games that I want to play, which is the whole pitch. Right now, I would say that Stadia does not offer me the games that I want to play. And this is also maybe a semi-review of Stadia, just for you guys' knowledge, because I've been playing it pretty much every day. From a speed perspective, it's absolutely my preferred way to go right now. And I'm really excited about the next Xbox and PlayStation just in loading times alone. In fact, it's so fast it even beats out my PC and my Shadow PC. Like, it's insane. It feels insane, and it makes waiting on games to load, especially on my Xbox, just a little bit frustrating, because I know that it can be done faster. So clearly, at the end of the day, I would say I'm positive on Stadia. I'm impressed by the technology in the back end on this platform, but there's no way that I would recommend that people go out and buy this. Honestly, whatever Google's plan is to bring out the free version of Stadia, that would be a good time for people to try it, but they shouldn't obviously do that until they have the games and until they are ready for more people to go try out the service and the system. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it 100% boils down to the games. And I, for one, am fearful and annoyed at obviously rumors of exclusivity. Now, if it's exclusive because it cannot be done elsewhere, like let's say an online-only game that requires you to have internet and to be online, like an MMORPG, like, I can understand that. Like, the persistent world isn't going to turn off because you turn off your Xbox. So I can understand that if they design something that can only be run in the cloud, that it would exist in the cloud. But exclusivity is something that is, I think, hopefully going to change over the next 10 to 15 years. It's going to be a slow process, but we'll ultimately have to wait and see where we are at the end of the day. But obviously, if you haven't seen, other YouTubers have reported that Stadia is going to be bringing out 10 exclusive timed releases. And I'm glad that they said timed. And timed feels okay in my mind. It's a little bit more acceptable. I don't like it in terms of multiplayer games. Like when you look at Borderlands 3 and the Epic Games Store, I'm waiting to see what happens when that game comes to Steam this April. Hopefully it really rejuvenates the game and the community behind it. But when it comes to multiplayer games, I think timed exclusivity hopefully will be something that gamers reject fundamentally. Now, for a single player game like Final Fantasy VII Remake, having a timed exclusive, that feels natural. That feels like, okay, you're making the investment, you're doing the marketing, you're somewhat pot committed, you're putting forward, like maybe this game wouldn't even be possible, just like Phantasy Star Online 2 coming over to the West to be on Xbox. Like maybe that would not have happened without those business relationships. And once that's established and everybody's had a good time, then we can open it up to more people. If you guys don't know, I'm all about possibility. I see I see potential, and I weigh potential very heavily. So just know that about me and my reviews. And then also I'm all about inclusivity. Like, let's play together. These are games. I love playing games with my friends. And I love this community because we get to play a lot of games together. And that's really where it's all about. So flipping this all back together, if Google teams up with Steam, that would be massively huge. Now, they're teaming up as a part of the ChromeOS, but it's Linux-based. And if they can put Steam on Stadia... Like, I have so many games, like Temtem. You know, like I haven't been able to play, but I haven't. I've been in queue for a while. Holy crap, that would be freaking cool. Anyway, that's what I wanted to say about it. Like, I like the technology. I think it is, you know, there's definitely concerns that we as gamers have to fight for our rights of ownership of how these things are going to work. I don't buy into any rumors or the speculation that Google's just going to shut this down. I can tell you hands-on impressions. You know, as a publicly traded company, that would be very infuriating for them to spend billions of dollars just to kind of quit today. Now, are they going to be around in 15 years? Are they going to be around in 20? Like, that's where we can have that debate. But it's only going to get more intense and more competition. Hopefully that competition benefits gamers. Hopefully that competition makes better services, helps games that could not come out or wouldn't exist be able to be created because everybody's trying to get that competitive edge. But hopefully that doesn't mean we're locking out whole different ecosystems of players. Stadia, like I said at my first review, and then in this updated, semi-news review, crossplay, like the fact that it's so isolating is a detriment. The fact that it doesn't have the games that I want to play. I'm looking at you, Final Fantasy. I'm looking at you, Phantasy Star. I'm looking at you, Anthem. In this regard, like I'm looking at you, all the games that I play typically during my week, whether it's casually or even hardcore. Like, Stadia's not a part of that. Destiny is the only game that I really have on, that I've actually spent time on the platform. That's what when I go to play a game, when I go to check in on Destiny for maybe a round of PvP or more, like it's on Stadia because it's just so easy to get into the game itself, where when I compare it to other platforms. But that's just not enough. And Destiny has been causing me some anxiety as it relates to the season pass model. And so there's just an anxiety that builds up. So I go and check it out. And I want to play more games. And the fact that I can go from upstairs, downstairs, left stairs, right stairs, like any device that I have, any screen that I have in this house, and be able to pick up my controller and play, like that's a huge win in my book. It's a real, actually big selling point. But they got to get the games. And the thing that I think that's the most frustrating is I know a lot of people bring up 4K technology, whatever. Like, my experience has been rock solid. But when they have the commercial that says, we've got the games you're looking for, that by far is not true. They don't have the games I'm looking for. And until they do, this conversation is just not going to go anywhere. So hopefully, you know what? I always root for people. Like I'm never going to root against an idea or a platform. I just don't think I have that in me to have that kind of level of energy. So at the end of the day, Google's got to pay up. This is trial by fire for them. I don't expect them to get to make any progress. They're still billions of dollars away from really capturing the market and the attention of people. There's some really cool things when it comes down to streaming and more that they have in the pipeline. And one of the things I've gone ahead and done, and I don't know yet if they're going to accept it, is that from a business perspective, I've applied to be a Stadia developer to see if that actually does anything. I'd love to make a game. I've been always toying with it. I'm a hobbyist game, independent game maker. And so if for some reason I get accepted, I might see if I can't push through and take that 2D game that I've been working on and put it on Stadia for the hell of it. Who knows? Anyway, guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on all of this. Like, I'm I think, well aware from within the gaming community where we fall, but maybe I'm misaligned. And so let me know if I'm missing something, if there's a concern that you have that I didn't address here, if there's a question you have that you'd like to know. yeah, we'll keep updating you on our progress and what our experience is. Same thing goes with my Elite Series 2 Xbox controller. The real test is time. It's not first impressions. It's really the real test is time here. Anyway, for Work to Game, my name is Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. Hope you guys have an incredible week, and I'll talk to you soon. Take care. For me. Boop. Thank you. You good?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Oh. Oh. You're so silly.